Right about now, we're about a half hour away from sunset. And if that is a fact that makes you sad, you're not alone. For some people, it is a sign of a serious mental health condition. Dr. Sheryl Ziegler joins us now. She's a psychologist and our 9 News parenting expert as well. Dr. Ziegler, this is the time of the year where we hear about seasonal affective disorder, or it's SAD. So explain it. What is SAD?
So seasonal affective disorder, or depression with a seasonal pattern, is the typical depressive symptoms you see. So loss of interest, sadness, hopelessness, fatigue. However, what the difference is that you see it with a seasonal pattern. So it's usually worse in the fall, later fall and winter, really peaking in January and February of most years. So it's depression that is connected to the less sunshine, like you were saying. It's getting darker earlier, and so it affects your circadian rhythms.
Is that how it's caused? I mean, what causes it? Our bodies, to be fair, this fall back, spring forward thing, fall back is always harder, I think, in my opinion. Just you can't catch up.
Yeah, it is really hard. It does. It affects what they think is it affects your circadian rhythm, which is sort of like your internal biological clock. And what happens is your serotonin, which is linked along with other neurotransmitters, but in your brain, is linked to your feelings of happiness and contentness and or depression. It decreases. So what happens when, for some people, when they have that less exposure, they really feel it. And there's some really interesting things that happen. So if someone's wondering whether they maybe just have some winter blues, which many people go through, that's a little different than depression with a seasonal pattern. So you get these carb cravings. So there tends to be this weight gain in the winter because of these carb cravings that you get, and even this restlessness. So almost like pacing back and forth or fidgeting with your fingers in ways that you hadn't before are really classic. And another classic symptom is just a lot of oversleeping, just sleeping a lot, but still feeling fatigued. So those are 3 kind of hallmarks of having a seasonal pattern.
And I'm glad you touched on that, on the winter blues. I mean, we feel fortunate in Colorado because we see the sun more than some folks do in the winter months, but that doesn't necessarily make a difference. So what can we do to prevent it or even treat this disorder, because it's so real and so common?
Yeah, one of the first things that people can think about when they want to, let's say, prevent this from happening is, first of all, if you already know that you suffer from depression, about 70% of people who suffer from depression then go on to have it feel worse in the winter. So you can do some things to be proactive. You can use light therapy, which is truly just something that costs $30 to $50. You can buy it online and you sit in front of it when you wake up in the morning, and it's a light box that covers the UV rays, but gives you light, really makes a significant difference for people. The other things you can do are make sure to eat healthy, to try to regulate your sleep, to really do those things that we know are really healthy for us to prepare for the winter, to set our body up for success.
I've heard a lot about that light therapy, so that makes really good sense. So I guess we should start this now, because this sounds like this is like the early start of this season, if you will.
Yeah, especially here in Colorado, where it has been an absolutely beautiful fall. We have been still getting a lot of sunshine. So I think if somebody's listening to this and they say, oh, wow, yeah, that's me most of the winters, that's how I feel, they may want to do that. There's also medication, and there's also cognitive behavioral therapy, or a combination of all 3, if it's really significant for people, is really quite effective.
Okay, well, glad we talked to you about this as we head into those winter months. They are coming. Thank you, Dr. Ziegler. Thanks.
Thank you.